All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Robert Chmielewski. This is my longtime friend,
Marcin
Marcin
Dyszynski.
Dyszynski. So, why are we really here? Yeah, we aren't really. Let's wait a minute for the screen to fix. Anyway, why are we here? What are we going to talk to you about? Well, the first reason is that we have been friends for a very, very long time. The second reason, complementary reason, is that we are both alumni of the school, went to the same class together. And the third reason is that we, since leaving the school, managed to build our own business together that has now become, I think, revolutionary in the way people acquire office space and on-demand workspace, and has been partnered up with one of the biggest real estate corporations in the world recently. So we want to talk to you about how we did this. How did we achieve this goal? What led us to the place that we are now? We want to talk about this one word that keeps resonating throughout this event, and it's passion. And we want to talk about how to find your passion and how to stay true to it to really achieve greatness.
So what we realized is we found our passions while we were still at school. And the reason we were managed to do this was because when you're at school, believe it or not, you've got quite a lot of time. That's a luxury, as you find out later in life. But while you've got so much time, you've got to do things. You've got to do things, you've got to find what it is you want to do with your life, what makes you happy. For example, when I was at school, I did so many weird things. I joined the choir for no apparent reason. I played instruments. I was in every single school play. At a certain time, I decided I'm going to be a video editor. So I decided to take a camera to school and illegally record our teachers. And then I'd make videos of it at home. I'd edit it together. And none of that became my passion in the end. But the only way I could find out that wasn't going to be my passion was by doing it in the first place.
So this is something that we wanna promote. You might be asking yourselves, well, I'm not really passionate about anything. Maybe I like computer games, I like some of my friends at school, but to really find out what you're passionate about, and believe me, once you do, you're gonna know about it, is to really try on different things. You've seen a lot of people that actually spoke today to you about the variety of different things that they do in their life that has become their passion, their way of life, really. Whether it's fitness, whether it's music, whether it's education, or whether it's speaking to you at events like this. Do it. As we already said, luxury is time is the luxury that you currently have. It's very easy to try one thing, fail, dislike it, and then maybe go on to another. And we want to leave you with the fact that sometimes, as you will soon find out right after we're finished, all it takes is to just take a walk around the corner to really, really find your passion. So, what do you really do once you found it? Once you do something, whether it's sports, whether it's within your education, and you say, right, I love what I'm doing, I want to develop in this, what do you want to do? And now we want to talk to you from a perspective of our example, of what we found to be our passions and how we found them.
So my passion turned out to be programming. And that came along when I was doing that pointless video editing thing. I asked myself a question: how the hell did somebody make this program I'm using? How did you do it? So I Googled, what is a program? And then I Googled, how do you make programs? And then it told me you've got to program them. And then I thought, okay, how do I do that? So I Googled, how do you program? And I taught myself slowly but surely how to do a little bit of programming. But I realized programming was my passion here at school because when we were here, when we were doing our IB, Robert and I and other friends of ours, we used to like to play computer games during breaks and, well, sometimes during lessons. And the teachers didn't really like that. So one day we came into school and we tried to launch our game on the school computer and it was blocked. And obviously we were very sad about that. But I went home and I sat in front of my computer and I went, all right, so what am I going to do about this? So what I ended up doing was creating a program that disables their block. I put it on a USB pen, came into school, gave it to all my friends, they put it in, the game worked, and they looked at me with utter shock, and that's when I realized that that's my passion.
For me, it was a little bit easier. It was maybe around the time of the 2008 crisis, when I was in random work experience. I was really a bit forced by my parents to do this, which I am now very, very thankful for. And because you're in a professional setting while working or doing work experience, you can't really go onto Facebook in between breaks. You can't really slack off. You really have to, and the professional environment itself gives this aura that you read up on the topics that are relevant to the job. And because it was the time of the real estate crisis, 2008, I started reading up on this whole real estate thing. Well, what really is real estate? I saw big money, I saw big personas that at that time possibly could have been my idols, now would not necessarily be them. Up to a point that in my cover letter for my university, I studied at UCL in London, I actually finished it off with a very inspiring, so I thought, quote by this gentleman. Luckily, I got accepted. Maybe that was at the time that this gentleman was not so much of a social media extravaganza, I would say, maybe. So as I was reading up on real estate, I really started to get into it, read a bit more. First work experience, first summer job in real estate. I said, right, this is what I want to do. But then, how do you develop from that? You know that programming is what you like. You know that real estate is something that you want to pursue. But what do you do next? All right, you finish school. How to really become great within your passion? So we think that, or what worked for us, was to surround ourselves with like-minded people. And this is really goes from people who are also passionate about this concept or this idea, but also people who are experienced within that idea. And whether that is real estate, whether that is programming, whether that is music or acting that you might be interested in, please do at one point ask yourselves a question: what is the best environment for me to develop this passion? And whether it is a theater, whether it is music school, whether like us, it was university, specifically targeted, like in my case for real estate, and in Marcin's case, specifically targeted at IT.
And I can't stress enough how it changes your perspective and what you want to do with life, because when I was here, I was the only person I knew who did anything with computers other than Word and Excel and, you know, print preview and all of that. But when I went there, every single person that sat next to me, sat in front of me, sat behind me, they loved exactly what I loved. And that just took it to a whole new level, where before I could make something and show it. Now I could make something and talk about it with other people. And I think that's what really pushed me to even more realize how passionate I am about programming, in my case.
And the penultimate thing that we want to talk to you about is to explore your possibilities. And what we mean by that is that the path of your passion, the path of your career, the path of your life and success is not linear. It is like a tree, constantly branching out into new perspectives, into new areas. So as I was working in real estate, I got a job after I finished university. Marcin did so as well in his corresponding field. We of course remain great friends throughout the course of our university degrees and up until now, of course. And we started talking about our passions. We started talking about what Marcin is encountering within his line of work, what I encounter within his line of work, and we started asking ourselves questions. What is the next big thing within your line of work? Well, it's this. What is the next big thing you think is within your line of work? And throughout those conversations, throughout trial and error, we've actually managed to combine this into a minimum viable product of an idea that today is our core business. And it actually focuses on the brink of two worlds, property and technology. Today, the term PropTech or property technology is a coin term, like blockchain, like fintech, which is technology for the financial institutions. If you were to say to a property professional about 2 to 3 years ago about technology for real estate, they would be in shock. Simultaneously, if you were to tell an IT person about creating technology or breakthrough technology and trying to sell it within the real estate world, one of the most conservative industries in the world, they would also shake their head. Today, thanks to both of us pursuing our passions and sort of not staying linear to them, but merging them to this one idea, we're able to surf the wave of a new global movement, which is the technology within the property sector. And last but not least, we want to leave you with the inspirational quote. And what we mean by it is that you should constantly be asking yourselves questions. Wherever you are, whether it's in a job environment, whether you're making a project, you should be asking yourself questions about your passion. How can I improve in what I'm doing? How can other people benefit from what I'm doing right now? Can I do this in any better way? Can the workflow of me and my peers be in any way sped up or in any way improved? And by asking those questions, you're constantly on the path to improving yourself, and you're really on the path to achieving something great and breakthrough. Thank you.